Hi there, I'm Jess.
And I'm Josh.
And we live in this 2019 Ford Transit full-time.
With our dog, Tillie. Come on in.
So this is our kitchen. We have the sink here. So what I really love about the sink is that there's this cutting board part that comes out, obviously, so you can use the sink. Running water. Don't want to waste too much of it. We have a water filtration system. It's called an Acuva. So we turn this on and it can just filter all of our water, so it doesn't matter where we fill up, we can always drink the water. And then that's kind of all down in here where we have our water heater on all the Acuva systems. We have our just a bunch of cleaning supplies, all that fun stuff. Then we also have this backsplash. I really love this backsplash. It's just keeps it clean, easy to clean when things go crazy cooking. And for cooking, we have this induction cooktop. So yeah, we use this induction cooktop for all of our stuff. We cook pretty often, I would say. We don't really try to eat out a ton. So it definitely gets its fair use. And then we also have our knives. I will say we had knives on there. Originally we had this magnetic knife holder, I guess. And the knives that we first had, they were pocket knives, but they were really nice, chef pocket knives. And because of that, the handle was super heavy. And we were driving one time and one of them went flying across the van. So after that, we got new knives and they've never moved. So it's all good. They stay up there all the time. We also have our refrigerator. We just did a pretty much a dorm fridge. So we have a pretty big freezer, which is nice because we can get a lot of meat or protein and just have it in the freezer so that we can take it out and defrost it whenever. And then we just have obviously the regular refrigerator section too. And then we also have our spices, our magnetic spices on there. And then up here, we have this is where we keep all of our cups, and we kind of also put just any chips or any kind of food that is gonna get crushed if we put it in our pantry or anywhere else. So we kind of just place it on top so that they don't get too crushed. But yeah, all of our glassware and stuff is plastic, but it looks like glass. We actually had a bunch of this all fall out recently, and so any glass that we did have in here is no longer in here because it shattered. This is our pantry. So we have 3 different little drawers that pull out. We also use different containers just so that we maximize our space in there, and it's full with a lot of different things. We also have our trash can underneath. That was a must, and it comes in handy all the time because since it's on the drawer, it will just roll out and we can have our trash there open and still out of the way while we're using everything in the kitchen, which is super nice, especially if you're chopping things up or something, it can just be there and you don't have to be constantly opening things and closing things. And then also within our pantry on the top part, we have a shelf, and that is actually where we keep all of our toiletries. So we have little shower caddies that we keep all of our stuff in and we take into Planet Fitness when we're showering. And then I have way too much makeup, even though I don't ever wear it. And so that's on the bottom in a big container too. And then we also have some cleaning stuff behind our trash can as well. We left our apartment and got out of it while we were building it out. So we went and we lived with my parents in North Carolina, and they were kind enough to have us there while we were doing the beginning stages of building out the van. And that took us, a few months or so.
Probably about 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
And then we decided to we were also planning our wedding. So we were building the van, we were planning our wedding, and it was a little crazy.
It was a lot crazy.
Yeah, it was a lot crazy.
So then we got some help to build the van just because we realized that there's a lot going on, and our friends at AW Woodworks, they're in Ohio, were nice enough to let us be their first van built. So we went to Ohio and they helped us with like all of the woodwork and all of that stuff. So now we're on the other side of our kitchen. Here at the front, we have our bathroom, and it pretty much just slides out to reveal the toilet. Then we have all of our silverware and aluminum foil, anything you possibly could need for cooking pretty much. Spatulas. My favorite is my corkatoo. That's fun. And then over here is, so this is actually our little tabletop for our desk slash kitchen table. So this is where it lives when we're driving and everything, and we actually put little stoppers on the bottom of it. That way when we're driving it doesn't slide around, for the most part that is. If you slam on the brakes, it goes flying. But yeah, generally it stays here, and then we just move it onto our little Lagun table mount when we're ready to use it. And then this space, we kind of just ended up with this really random like space that we didn't really know what to do with. So it became like a little place for all of our cutting boards and stuff. So it's just like a little small thing that you can't really fit much else in, but we have that. And then a little basket here where we put just random miscellaneous items mainly. And then we also have a calendar here with one of our siblings' dogs on it. So that's fun. I actually really love the fact that I have a calendar, because I need a calendar in my life to keep track of everything. And so I don't know, in a van, it wasn't like we thought about putting this here initially. It just kind of was a perfect spot. And then we actually got gifted this calendar and it was the perfect size and everything. It just worked out. And then we have 3 more drawers down this way, which I don't know that we're honestly utilizing them the best that they could be, but we have just a lot of plates and Tupperware. And we even keep some like flashlights and stuff here just so that they're easy to get to if we need them. And then we have our pots and pans and bowls. Actually, we only have 1 pot and pan. I shouldn't have said pots and pans with an S, because it's just one. Oh, and then we also have, so we have a blender, and we have an electric kettle, and we also have a little thing to chop up all of our coffee grounds. So all of that is in here as well. And one thing that I forgot to mention earlier is that all of our like handles, they all lock in place automatically, which is super nice. So whenever you open them, there's a specific way you kind of have to open them, and then when you close them, they're just locked and we don't have to worry about it. So we can just drive away. We don't have to go throughout the van and try to lock everything up, which is very, very nice. Then moving in over to this section, we have our like home theater. So we have a TV here, and we use this as mainly a TV, but also the idea when we put it in was that I could use it as a second monitor for work. So this actually pulls out, and then when we're in bed, it's kind of a little bit of a hassle to do, but it'll pull out all the way, and you can actually have it facing the bed, and it's pretty much in the middle, and it feels a lot bigger. It's only a 32-inch, I think, but in this van it feels like it's massive. And then we also have this little inlet part where we put our laptops, and we don't have a full mirror, so I put my little mirror in there. And then just any other electronic stuff that we have, it's all in here. And then we also have like a charging station there too. So we have 12 volt charging, and then just your regular like house outlet charging stuff. Up here we have our Victron Energy, so we can see how much we're using of our power. We're always keeping an eye on it, and it is nice that it's just kind of right in our face. So if we're low, we definitely know. In this cabinet we have, it's actually mainly our like charging stuff and all of our electronics. So it's pretty much the control panel for all of that. We like to turn things off when we're not using it just to make sure we're conserving our power. So we have everything labeled, like our water pump, our max air fan, our AccuVa, our toilet, literally everything. And then we also have our WeBoost in here. We have all of our hot spots because we have many. And then we have our Instapot too, and just kind of some, I think some dryer stuff, things for when we're washing our clothes. So all of that is in here. And then over in this area, this has now been claimed by Tillie, our dog. We didn't know that we were gonna get Tillie when we first got this van, so this was very good that it worked out this way. But yeah, so this actually, her crate folds up and it folds into each other. And so whenever we want to use this area as like a little living space, or I also use it as an office, sometimes we'll have dinner here as well. Although that's less likely. A lot of times we just end up like sitting on the bed or something because we're lazy. But yeah, so we'll fold up Tillie stuff, we'll put it usually in the front, and then we'll sit here on these benches. And this is the Lagun mount that we were talking about earlier. So the Lagun mount will come up and we'll put the table on and it swivels and it just takes up this whole area. And then also underneath this is a little space, so you can open up this bench, and so we can open this up and all of our shoes are in there. And then we have like a Mexican blanket, and then we keep some towels in there too for when we're showering. And then in addition to all of that, we have a backdrop right here. So I'm an actress, so we'll do different tapings for auditions and stuff. So we'll pull this out, and it actually, this whole kitchen area becomes, I guess, a set essentially. And I have my backdrop and we have a ring light, and we'll film all of my auditions and stuff in this area as well.
A big reason why we wanted to go full-time van life is because I work in the film industry as an audio engineer or audio mixer, and I was just on the road traveling a lot for shows. Sometimes I would be gone for 2 to 3 months. And so we figured if we built out a van, then Jess here could go on the road and go to wherever I was working at, so we didn't have to always be apart.
Yeah.
It's definitely a huge strain on a relationship when you're in the industry, because you're always gone. So that's pretty much why we built out the van. And so Jess found a job that's full-time remote.
Yeah, well, I was working in marketing at the time, and I luckily was able to go remote with them since I'm not working with the same company, but I'm still just doing content creation stuff, and so I freelance pretty much, and that's how we sustain ourselves. And we pretty much just drive to wherever Josh has work, so we'll be parked at a studio or something, and then I'll work from the van and he'll just walk on home in the studio parking lot.
Yeah, it's fantastic, honestly. Like, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, and then on top of that, I'm an actress as well, so we're now, instead of traveling all over the place, we are now basing ourselves in LA so that we can both do things for the entertainment industry.
Yep. I'm going to start with our deadbolts. This is Heo safe. We have 2 on each door, one on the sliding door and then one in the back, so that we can bolt it down and walk away feeling that our stuff is protected. We also have, let's see, we have the swivel chair right here. We have another drawer down here. It's kind of like a hidden drawer where we can pop it open and put our shoes. It's kind of like a cool little cubby hole. And then right up top here, this is where we built kind kind of like a storage space up there. We didn't want to lack storage at all, so we built that out and we keep a lot of stuff up there. It really helps out. Now we are kind of like in our back living space slash bed. We have a Dometic heater and cooler. One thing about this is that if it gets cold and it freezes over, then the heater actually won't work. Me and Jess actually got stuck in a place where it was like -1. I don't know if it was that cold, but we could not start it up. Even though we were plugged into shore power, it would not produce heat. And so we ended up having to buy one of those, like, you know, cheap Chinese heaters that we installed later on. But yeah, this is very wonderful to have when we're plugged into shore power. We have a pretty big power bank. We have about 600 amp hours of lithium battery, and even that won't power this for more than 3 hours. Moving on to our bed slash our couch. So we wanted to do kind of the same thing that van life couple we follow did, and Beck. They created a couch that actually folded up into a larger bed. It actually folds up into a full queen size bed. However, me and Jess are actually short enough to where we never really have to convert it. So a lot of times we'll just keep it just like this. This is about 6 inches that adds to the bed, which was the size of our actual mattress. So we just cut our mattress in half and then turn this into the back of the couch, but it's 6 inches and that's enough for our feet. So we never really have to convert it. But you know, if let's say a friend is coming to visit and they're like 6 feet, 6'1", 6'2", we'll pop it open. Or if we just want to be bougie, you know. Also, we have and I love this about our setup, is we have a laundry chute. You just pull that open. There's a laundry bag that's tucked underneath our bed, and we can just throw clothes in there as we need to. It definitely helps keep the clutter to a minimum. And then also going on to our cabinets. These are our cabinets, and we have pull-out organizers that we found at IKEA. They're perfect for these size cabinets. We got really lucky. So in all 4 of these cabinets we have these organizers for our clothes. I get 2 and Jess gets 2. We also have 3 windows that we installed. We didn't want to go too big because we didn't want people to have room to like break in and crawl through, but we set them back so that we would have like kind of little shelving rooms in our window seals. So that's why we did it like that. Underneath this bench is our 42-gallon water tank. We just wanted to be able to go quite a while without having to fill up water. So we put the water tank underneath our bed. We also have AC and DC power. We have outlets and then DC power over here. Oh, we have our trusty Max Air Fan remote. We love the Max Air Fan. When we suck out and then open up all the doors, it gets really cool in here, and I hate being hot, so it's been really nice to have. All right, so this is our garage. We wanted the mountains so that we could always have a view of the mountains even when we're in a city and not able to go out of the van a lot. We also have our hose and a hose spigot just in case we need to wash off if we hit the beach, or you know, I mean, if we hit the beach without any surf gear. That's how cool we are. And then one thing that I absolutely love about this back part is it has a little drawer right here that you can pull open, and it has all of our nuts and bolts and batteries and, you know, anything like you know, when we get to a spot and we want to put up lights, we have little lights that we can put up just to, you know, make it look good and fun. So I love this little storage space right here. We also have all of our power equipment back here, and then we have little command hooks so we can hang stuff. We have a huge battery bank, like I had mentioned. We have 615 amp hours of lithium battery. We use SOK. It's about $1,000 for 200 amp hours, which is a really good deal. So we got that. And then we set up all of our electric, all of our Victron, energy stuff is over here on this back wall. And that's it for the back.
So if you guys are interested in following along our journey on the road, you can follow us on Instagram at Rollin' Through Life.
And also thank you, Tiny Homes, for coming to check out our space. We will see you on the road.
See you out there.